Hey, this is Chef Perry with HotMeals.com, and today we're going to talk about how to cook a light and fluffy French omelet. We're going to use 3 eggs, a little water, some oil, some butter, salt, and pepper. That's really it. It's a very simple, very elegant recipe. Make a beautiful omelet. We're going to go ahead and start out with 3 eggs. Now, normally I would use farm fresh eggs. I happened to be out this morning, so I had to run out real quick and get some store-bought eggs. Obviously, if you have a chance to use the farm fresh eggs, they're going to taste much, much better. We're going to go ahead and crack 3 of those into a bowl here to start our omelet. Next, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper. It's really to taste. I tend to like a little bit more pepper, but probably about a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, about 2 tablespoons of water, just to thin it down a little. That'll help it cook up a little bit fluffier. Go ahead and give that a nice whisk here. What we're trying to do is we want to incorporate those yellows, the yolk with the white, without over whipping it. That tends to make it tough, so we just want to incorporate till you can't really tell a difference when you lift that whisk between the whites and the yolk. Now we're going to go ahead and put our pan on over medium-high heat. You want it good and hot, and put our butter in and get it started melting. If we can get it off the bowl. Next, we're going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of oil. The reason we do that is it tends to keep your butter from over browning. It gives it a little higher heat rate to the butter, so it doesn't over brown or burn on you. And you're going to want to cook these eggs on a fairly high heat, so you want to add a little oil in there. Now we've let it cook down a little till most of the foam is gone off of our butter. That's when you know that it's ready to start cooking with. And we'll just give that a shake up there to kind of evenly incorporate the butter around the pan. We want all parts of the pan coated so none of our egg sticks. Now we're going to go ahead and just pour our eggs directly in there, and we'll go ahead and let them sit for maybe 30 seconds, just to start to sit up on the bottom. And you see we're going to start doing this counterclockwise motion, back and forth with the pan. And we can see what's happening there. It's lifting the cooked egg off the bottom and kind of redistributing it with the uncooked egg without going in there with a spatula or a fork or something and actually breaking up the egg. And it's going to make very, very light and fluffy. And just keep doing that back and forth, back and forth. You'll see it setting up. Start to get some nice air bubbles in there, and that's going to, again, create that lightness we're looking for. For about another 30 seconds, it started to firm up pretty good. Now we're just going to start flipping it over on itself, and that's just a downward motion and then pulling back with the wrist. And that's going to flip that omelet over beautifully, just like that. You can also, if you need to, you can go in and give it a little help with a spatula. It's not going to hurt anything. It's a lot of fun to be able to do this in front of people. Folks tend to be very impressed with being able to flip an omelet like that. So now we're just going to go ahead and put it back on the heat there and let it stay there for a minute. We want to get a little bit of a brown on the bottom. It tends to add a little caramelization flavor. You can see there. It's very, very pretty. So we've gone ahead and let it finish cooking. We're just going to roll it off onto a plate here, ready to serve. It's going to be very, very hot, so you're going to let it cool for a few minutes. Now, one thing I like to do, and this is completely up to you, I like to brush it with a little bit of melted butter. I think it adds a nice sheen to it, gives a little more of the buttery flavor. It's a very nice mouthfeel. It tends to keep that top from toughening up maybe a little bit, especially if you have to wait a few minutes to serve. I like to top it with a little fresh chopped parsley, maybe cilantro, and then you just dig in. You're going to see here it's just very, very light, very fluffy omelet. It's going to be delicious, very moist inside and tender. Makes for a great, simple, quick breakfast. About 2 minutes and you've got a beautiful omelet ready to serve. So thanks very much for watching. Again, I'm Chef Perry with HotMeals.com. You can check out lots more delicious recipes and some great meal planning ideas at our website, www.hotmeals.com. Remember, we make the plans so you can make the meals your family deserves.